Hello, 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 COMM 1010 students. I think this would be my last video for you for the semester. The semester ends in 12 days, so thought I would just kind of give you a wind up of what we're looking at as we approach the beginning of week 7 and then week 8, the last week of our accelerated semester, where we're trying to do things in twice the amount twice the amount of activity in the amount of space we normally would do for a full semester class. So many of you are catching on to that and you're doing a good job. Hey, today's a deadline for the last big group discussion. It's a persuasive speech, Shannon's speech on limiting screen time. There are at least 15% of the class that as of 5 o'clock haven't done a single post of this. You're missing out on at least maybe 10, 12, 15 points by not doing it. So get it done. Also, tonight's the deadline to complete quiz number 3. And again, at least 3 students haven't done that right now. There is, by the way, a question on there about the June 2024 presidential debate. And that will be graded manually, by the way. So just keep that in mind. And I will be doing those starting tomorrow. There's no sense in starting on it today unless I can get them all done at once. So that'll happen tomorrow. All right, the big thing is speeches 3 and 4. Again, there are a handful of students that haven't completed speech number 3 as of 5 o'clock today. If you did complete it, it's in the grade book. It's under discussions in your small discussion group. If you're in Hannah's, look in Hannah's. If you're in Emma's, look in Emma's. If you're in Jerapin's, look in Jerapin's. They're all there. You see 2 grades or 2 recordings. One was for what you did in the discussion when you immediately talked about your idea and talked about others' ideas. And then the second is the grade itself. Look at your emails. You each should have 2 emails from me with an evaluation of that. By the way, if you do not get your speech done by 11:59 p.m. tonight, automatic 10% per day penalty takes effect on this speech. So get it done if you haven't completed it. All right, going to move on to speech number 4. It is basically an exact repetition of the process we did in speech number 3. You will see once again small discussion groups with our leaders, coordinators, Emma, Hannah, and Jerapin. What you're going to do is think about your subject and post it into that discussion group as soon as possible. See the next slides for a little bit of advice, and then make sure you've read chapters 13 and 14 of the textbook and watch some of the videos that I've posted in both the week 6 and week 7 folders and content so you can see examples of what are good persuasive speeches. Remember, here it is on this slide what the goals and purposes of this persuasive speech are. And in your outline or your script that you're going to get to me by Thursday, you're going to want to tell me, what are you trying to do? Reinforce, shift, adopt, or elimination. Those are the 4 main options you have in terms of what your goal would be for this persuasive speech. All right, so you first identify the goal, then specify the change that you're seeking. Pretty simple, right? If you do it well, it should be, yeah. And then there's the subpoints beneath it as well. So I'm going to pause for a minute, take a look at this, and make up your mind how you're going to approach your speech number 4, and then put this in the outline or the script that you're going to send to me later on this week. Also, in that script, you want to be specific about the change that you're seeking. And then you see those 4 possibilities again. Pick one of those 4 and list it as the change you're going to seek as a result of anybody in any audience that would be seeing and hearing your number 4 persuasive speech. Certainly all the other people in your small group can watch it. All right, I just wanted to point out to you a whole mess of things that are available right now in week 7 of the contents. And again, the reason that I'm bringing this a little closer to my attention is I circled some things. So you see the guidelines and the rubric for the number 4 speech, all there. I would strongly encourage you to look at it, to read it, to understand it as you get into the persuasive speech mindset for your 4th and final speech for this class. There's some more ideas. Read, watch some more, and then follow. That's why I started with the Shannon speech, by the way. I wanted you to see one so you would get it. Also, I put a bunch of persuasive videos in past classes. I did talk about this in a chapter live class in May of 2023, and the students just raved about it. They said, Professor Kersey, you really explained the persuasive speech excellently to me in that. So that's why I put a link for that up for you as well. So you could look at that, and that should be a big aid to you additionally as you get ready for this speech. Again, some deadlines for the persuasive speech. Put your topic in as soon as you can, and look at this every day, students. Take a look at each others in your discussion group and give them recommendations, give them feedback on what they're trying to do. And then Thursday of this week, your script itself is in assignments, and you notice I put a little asterisk to this as well. You have two choices. Either you're going to go extemporaneously or you're going to memorize. If you read, you hit a stiff penalty. All right. I will grade these first in, first graded back. I'm putting time in my calendar to be grading on Thursday the 4th, Friday the 5th, hopefully no later than Saturday the 6th. 100% of these will be back with comments for you. All right, like we did with speech 3, your speech 4 persuasive will be posted in your discussion group. The same group for PERS 4, it will say do it by Tuesday, December 9th. That's 5 full days after you've had the script done. So there's plenty of time for you to PP for that. And then finally, evaluation. Again, you click on that little envelope and you go send mail in Brightspace to get that to me. And by the way, if you haven't started on your peer evaluations for number 3, now would be the time to do it. The speeches should be in. If by tomorrow morning, the person you've been assigned to has not done a speech, you can pick anybody else in your group that is, and go ahead and evaluate their speech. Again, so you have it. This is a big assignment, 140 points out of the 400 total possible for the class. So you get points for the initial post and discussion, posts for your outline or your script, and then the most, of course, 90 for the actual speech itself, and then up to 20 for a very good and strong peer evaluation. And again, in week 6, you can see the rubric for that. I will also put the rubric in the discussion so you can copy and paste as you did for number 3. But this makes up about 1/3 of the total points for the class. So it's very important you do a fine job with both your speech and your peer evaluation. Again, in your script, specify whether you're extemping or speaking from memory. If you read, automatic 25% reduction, and as you can tell, it's pretty easy to tell if you're reading. Okay. Also, in this speech, as it says in the rubric, you must have 4 sources. And in what you submit by Thursday, I need to know author, title, publication date, an MLA type of a thing for a college paper. You must have 4 professional type of sources for this speech. You can have more, but you have to have a minimum of 4, or else, again, you're going to be stiffly penalized for that. All right, so there's some more specifics about your outline script. What is your objective? We talked about already. What are your 3 key points? And you could have more. And then at least 4 research sources cited. That's the absolute minimum that you need to do for your script or for your outline. You can go beyond that, and you get more points if you go beyond that. But if you do this, you'll at least get a passing grade on the assignment, on that part of it. All right, if you have questions, text or talk with your coordinators. They're doing a phenomenal job. And by the way, with Jerpin, I may be taking over after December the 5th for her. Or you can text me. People have discovered that I do respond to text messages, or email me. My email is going to be pretty active now through the end of the semester. But keep in mind that December 12th, all academic activity in this class must be done and over. I have to grade things and then turn grades into the college on Monday the 15th. So I need some time to get it all done. It took me about 3 days to get through all the speeches for the number 3 assignment, just to give you a feel. I watch them all twice. One I just kind of watch for effect and have the rubric in front of me. And then the second one I type as I'm talking. I actually use 2 computers to do it because it just is a better way for me to handle it. That should do it. Just a reminder, we're getting really close to the end of the semester. Again, the deadline's a week from Friday, December 12th. And Keep in mind that I can't grade every speech overnight. If I get 12 speeches on Tuesday the 9th, they're not all going to be graded on Wednesday the 10th. It just won't happen. All right. So you can go ahead and do your peer evaluation as soon as you see your peer speech pop up in your discussion. If you don't see it after 24 hours, then talk to your coordinator, talk to me, and we'll make a decision to maybe let you evaluate somebody else.